ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys die-cast Iron Man figure unboxing and review video. Now today, we are taking a look at the Toy Fair exclusive Avengers Endgame Mark 85 holographic version. Now, I personally have been pretty curious to get this guy in hand, and well, finally, he is here. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. While you're down in the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button for more info on Justin's collection plus the channel membership. As for the box art, it's simple, yet I really like it. Up top, the Hot Toys exclusive foil sticker, the arc reactor front and center, then Mark 85 holographic version down below. On the side, you can see the foam block with an arc reactor, then on the back, all of the warnings and legal info. Now, if you do slide off the top cover, you can see it's made of frosted transparent blue plastic. And yeah, I think that suits the holographic Mark 85 beautifully. On the inside though, we have the figure himself. Now, when this guy was first announced, I didn't really know how to feel. I wasn't super excited, but now that I have him in hand, first impressions are relatively positive. What we are going to do now though is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Here we have all the parts and pieces. Starting off with the display base first, it's done in the hexagonal style. You've got Iron Man Mark 85 holographic version up the front, Avengers Endgame up top, then a bunch of glossy hexagons on this blue background on the top surface here. You also have a dynamic flight pole plus a spring-loaded waist clamp. One of the coolest accessories with the standard Mark 85 was the lightning refocuser, and I'm really glad to see it again here. It simply pegs into his back via those 3 pegs. It's nicely painted with that metallic blue and also a lighter blue, plus some gunmetal sections. Don't worry, as with all of the weaponry, you'll see this on the figure a little bit later. Quite interestingly, we do get 2 bladed weapons. The reason why this is interesting is because this one came with the Mark 50 accessory pack. It's got a jagged edge down below where Thanos tore it off Tony then stabbed him with it. It's nicely painted with that same metallic blue and then translucent plastic for the blade. The other double-bladed sword is also translucent blue for both blades, but this time, as you can see, it's significantly more vibrant. Unfortunately though, once again, we don't actually get a hand specifically designed to hold this weapon, which means it's a little bit more tricky to get him to hold onto it. They very generously do give you 2 lobster claws, one for each side. When you slide these onto the forearms, there are contacts inside them that transfer the power into the LEDs up top, so yes, these do illuminate. I don't really have a ton to say about the paint applications, other than they are the same blue as the suit, and they are suitably metallic. Lastly, we do get the full array of hands, including closed fists, repulsor blasting, and fully articulated. The ones that I seem to always go with are the fully articulated hands. You can just get a little bit more dynamic with your posing. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. This guy looks exactly like a color-swapped Mark 85, where they've swapped the red, the gunmetal, and the gold with blue and gunmetal. And that's because that's exactly what this guy is. You have to know what to expect going in. For me, I love the mold for the Mark 85, and blue is my favorite color, so I was already predisposed to liking this. But I can't help but think the blue isn't quite vibrant enough. It still looks good, but not perfect. Also, it doesn't really have that holographic aesthetic. You've got a couple of clear panels, but shouldn't the entire thing be clear if this is supposed to be a holographic suit? Maybe I'm just thinking about the whole thing wrong, but weigh in down below. Here we have him up close and personal. And I still don't get the whole holographic thing. Now, you do have a couple of sections of translucent plastic, but other than that, he's fully painted from head to toe. Speaking of head, the head sculpt looked good with the standard Mark 85, and it looks great here. I like the classic inspired V at the top of the helmet. I love the gunmetal / silver accent pieces and the blue with the metallic flake. Yeah, it all comes together really nicely. I also have the eyes fully illuminated. Now, if they were going to make anything else out of this transparent plastic, I would have thought the faceplate would have been a really good option. But in saying that, yeah, from a distance, I guess this kind of works as well, although it does give me Blue Beetle vibes. The only real holographic sections are the bicep pieces, which, by the way, do nicely slide out of the way when you bend the elbow, and this chest plate. It's done in this frosted blue plastic with these accent panel lines, and underneath you have this fully sculpted and painted detail section done in gunmetal. Now, all of the accent pieces all over the entire suit are gunmetal, so that makes perfect sense. You also have multiple mini arc reactors as well as the main one, and when you have the LEDs turned on, the detail looks awesome. It's not just a flat section without any detail work, there's a lot to look at in the center. Now, around the back, he still has the removable panel for the lightning refocuser, which snaps in nice and securely, and it looks awesome. I didn't love the blue at first, I thought it didn't stand out enough. But having the lightning refocuser on his back, yeah, it's absolutely going to help this guy stand out in the display. Now, you also have the swap out lobster claws for the forearms. Slowly but surely, we're fully weaponizing the Mark 85, and yeah, the lobster claws look great here as well. In my display, I didn't know where this guy was going to go, but now with the refocuser and the lobster claws, it's starting to look like a very unique suit of armor. Coming down to the legs, this is still the Mark 85, so they're super sleek, but there's a lot to look at here. It's deceivingly simple. There are panel lines and curves, they look natural, they kind of mimic human musculature, and I really like it. The blue against the grey is still striking, but not overly so. And down here at the ankles, you do have a surprising amount of articulation with a bunch of hidden moving panels. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here's the regular Mark 85, and my word, he looks so much better in gold and red. I'm okay with the blue, it's not as vibrant as I would have liked, as I've said a bunch of times, but the classic Iron Man colors work so well here. If you're sitting here right now thinking, I wonder which one I should get, don't think that. Go for the classic, the standard look, it just, in my opinion, works way better. Just going over articulation. Now bear in mind, this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm gonna be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I am willing to go. Now, starting off with the helmet, it is on a ball joint and a hinge. Looking forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. Now, the arms can be extended out for a little bit more range, going up to there, going forward and back, and of course, a butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow with the awesome moving bicep armor plate that gets you just a little bit more range of motion. You also have a ball joint for the wrist peg. The torso can be extended up at two separate sections, crunching forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. The legs can be dropped down to there. Don't forget to move these panels out of the way to avoid paint chipping. They will go forward to there. They will go out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double ratcheted bend at the knee that gets you just past 90, a double ball peg plus a hinge for the ankle, plus toe articulation. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. The first annoying thing is that the chest plate and the biceps are this clear frosted plastic. Now yes, it looks kind of cool, but you can't see that same plastic anywhere else on the body. That means it's just those pieces and they kind of look out of place. I would have preferred they ditched the holographic thing entirely and just sold this guy fully painted as a stealth version of the Mark 85. The second annoying thing is the blue finish. Based off the Hot Toys promo pics, I was expecting this thing to absolutely pop. But unfortunately, the blue in person and on camera is very muted. I kind of feel like I've been catfished based off the official Hot Toys pictures. The third annoying thing is that even though this is a new version of the Mark 85, Hot Toys use the exact same parts from the original 1.0. We don't have any fixes for the gaps at the thighs, and the shoulder pads sit in the exact same way. Now, I never had a huge issue with the original, but some people have bought replacement panels. And yeah, even I will admit, once you install those pieces, he looks way better. The first cool thing, and I know, I'm contradicting myself, but it's the translucent plastic. If only they'd used this on more areas and had this molded and painted detail underneath, this thing would have looked incredible. But now it kind of looks a little bit weird and half-hearted. You've got the chest plate, you've got the biceps, but you don't have it anywhere else. It was a really cool idea, but wasn't unfortunately executed to perfection. The second cool thing is the array of weaponry. We get pretty much all of the usual and main suspects with the 2 lobster claws, 1 for each side, the double-bladed sword, the katana, and his lightning refocuser, aka the Starfish of Doom. This being a Toy Fair exclusive, they could have very easily cheaped out because, you know, people will buy it anyway. But I'm glad they didn't. They gave us a full complement of weaponry. The third cool thing is, of course, being based off the Mark 85, he is still compatible with a Tony Stark head sculpt. Now, unfortunately, we don't get the correct swap-out neck collar piece, but I still think this works. His neck looks slightly long, but having this head sculpt on a blue Iron Man suit, it's something unique. It's definitely going to stand out in the collection. Wrapping up on the Hot Toys Toy Fair exclusive holographic Mark 85. The reason I said it like that is because he's not really all that holographic. He's got 3 translucent panels if you don't count the swap out pieces, and for me, that's not enough. This guy is just a color swapped version of the Mark 85. If he wasn't a Toy Fair exclusive, I don't reckon anyone would really be rushing to pick him up. He isn't essential. In fact, I don't even really know where I'm going to put this figure. Maybe in storage with all of the other weird, wacky variants like Neon Tech and Holographic Mark IV. It just doesn't really float my boat. The blue, I thought was going to be way more vibrant. Thanks Hot Toys for photoshopping your promo pics to oblivion. You upped the saturation and it looked way better there than it does in person. It's still not atrocious, but you just have to know that it's going to look like this, a lot more muted. The Mark 85 mold is still incredible though. The articulation is really good. You've got the lightning refocuser, the little lobster claw pieces, and both blades. This guy is stacked. I'm really glad they gave him all that weaponry, because without it, this guy is a pretty tough sell, at least in my opinion. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe and bell notification icon plus join button for more info on Justin's Collection Plus, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.